Hey guys, Bradley Overrated coming at you with another On Topic, and today we are going to be discussing the Nintendo Switch. But before I get into that, I just wanted to point out that there will be a lot of On Topics this week, just because there's a lot of things that have been going on recently that I really want to talk about. So if you're into On Topics, look forward to it? Yeah, we're doing this? And yes, it is about the Nintendo Switch. As I'm certain many of you are aware, it has been out for a year, so I kind of wanted to do this. Let's look back at the year it had, and let's see what it looks like going forward. And when you look back, I would just like to say I was one of the early adopters. I bought it on day one, and I was happy to report that my Joy-Cons did not have syncing issues like everybody else's did, apparently. There was this thing with the left Joy-Con where it wouldn't sync up correctly and it would cause problems. Mine never had that problem though. My Switch doesn't have like a overheating, and apparently some of the switches will bend on people. Mine hasn't bent yet. My Switch is beautiful. So those aren't issues for me. Also, the Nintendo Switch has sold over 15 million units. It has easily surpassed the Wii U's entire lifetime cycle in terms of sales. That is awesome, and the Nintendo Switch is obviously the superior console. It's not a big surprise when you have something that's so portable and perfect for playing at home, on the bed, on the go, on the plane, on the treadmill, on the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You've got a good thing going for you, so no, I'm not surprised, not even the least bit. As a matter of fact, I am still sticking with my guns that I think the Nintendo Switch will sell 40 million units by the end of this year. Not the end of its second year in terms of its life. I'm talking December 31st, when it's all clocked in and they count those units sold. Nintendo Switch, 40 million, baby. I'm feeling ballsy. I'm sticking with it. What made the Switch so successful in 2017 was software. Let's just be completely honest, and concept. The concept of being, portable slash the hybrid console that it is, obviously good, but it was all about games, baby. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Pokken Tournament DX, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, ARMS, surprisingly enjoyable, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem Warriors, made by Koei Tecmo, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, made by Ubisoft, and then the third-party support was there. You had plenty of Ubisoft games coming, such as Just Dance, Rayman Legends, the one I just talked about, Mario & Rabbids. Then you had LA Noire, Skyrim, Doom for the Switch. But what really stood out to me were the indie titles. And let me just say right now that I love Nintendo for doing an entire showcase called The Nindies, where it was just nothing but indie titles that were coming out for the Switch. And it gave a nice spotlight for all those independent developers that are trying to get a start in the video game industry. And I think that is an amazing thing that Nintendo has done for them. And the indie titles were good. Snipper Clips, oh so good. Golf Story, Stardew Valley, Shovel Knight, The Binding of Isaac. Oh, so good. Bold Boy. I tried out Bold Boy. It was so good. It was so freaky good. You gotta love it when indie titles like that appear on a console. And once again, you can take it anywhere. So they nailed it in terms of software. They had plenty of good games. And don't think there was just good games. There were definitely some duds out on the Switch. But for the most part, I was pretty happy with what they had. Now, going forward, though, 2018, they have a lot to live up to. When you had games like Super Mario Odyssey and The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild coming out, yeah, you're not going to beat those with any of your other games. The only other big game that could possibly come out this year that can rival those two would be that new Pokemon game, really. But I don't think it's coming out this year. And I also don't think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be coming out this year. I just don't. So maybe they will. Maybe they'll have a nice surprise for us, but I'm not banking on it. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to have good games coming out this year. For example, if you're really interested in a port, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, that's always a good option. I don't recommend buying it for $60 though. That game is just not worth $60. I would also be betting on Super Smash Bros. Getting ported or Super Mario Maker getting ported. I just think those are two big games for the Wii U that sold really well for a console that didn't. So I would have to say one of those two would probably come out towards the holiday season. And let's not forget that Shin Megami Tensei 5 is coming out, as well as a new Fire Emblem game, and that Fire Emblem game is going to be awesome. So they will have some games, but it's not going to be as good of a lineup as last year's. But let's be honest, nothing can beat Zelda and Mario. Come on, I'm sorry, Pokemon can't beat Zelda and Mario. It's nothing can beat those. They did a really good job with those. What's going to carry the Switch through this year is going to have to be the third-party supports, and I would bank that there's going to be another Nintendo Direct sometime this month or in April, and there's going to be a lot more third parties coming out, because when a console like this sells that well, that's when the third parties start getting heavily involved in it. So if I could give it the Nintendo Switch on a scale from 1 to 10 on how it did last year, honestly, I didn't have any problems with my Switch. I loved all the titles. I love the console. I love the Pro Controller. I think the Joy-Cons are cool, although I feel like they're getting underutilized, but Nintendo's gonna apparently rectify that with Nintendo Labo, the weirdest thing ever. I would give it a 10 out of 10 for last year. Now, this year, though, I don't think it's going to make it. Not even close to that 10 out of 10. Not that it's going to be a bad year. I just think they're going to do a lot more ports, and that's fine. I really like the ports. Hyrule Warriors, for instance, coming out. My wife and I love that game. We're really excited to have it back with all the DLC and stuff. But I think it's going to be a slower year for Nintendo. I think this year will be a slow year, and next year is going to be another hit it hard where they have a bunch of new titles or recurring ones like Animal Crossing. That is well overdue. There's supposed to be a new Pikmin game. I would bet next year. Metroid Prime 4 2019. Pokemon, I would bet 2019. I'm betting 2019 to be another huge, hard-hitting Nintendo IP year. But this year is going to be a little bit slower. We're going to have to be a little bit more patient for it. But that's my thoughts. I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know. And always bear comfort in the fact that if you don't like my content, just remember, I am Bradley Overrated. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.